So I'm going to wait for one of those to come. I'll just show you where that is. So if you've got a bike that's it won't fire up, you think the battery's all good, and basically it's not holding a charge. It's probably because it isn't getting any charge as you're riding it, and it's probably not getting the charge because there's something wrong with the rectifier. So I think they're about maybe £12–15, something like that. So I'm going to take this front cover off here. I'm just going to show you actually how simple it is to repair that. So if you've got a bike that won't start, you know, even on a kick, or if you press this and it'll have a few goes and it just dies. I mean, there are a lot of reasons it can do that, but it's probably because your battery over time is getting flat as well, because it's not getting the charge that it needs. No, it's like lawnmowers. You can soon start this up as your own little business with these little 50ccs. They're very simple things, really. You know, you got your tank, as you can see here, and basically it's pretty much just all this is a lawnmower with a few other bits to learn. So if you've done a few mowers and you've got to know how to service the carbs, you've got a bit of know-how now. Just take these parts off. I'm just going to unscrew these now, and I'll put the camera back on when I've got this panel off here. Very difficult today. I ain't got my tripod out here today, so I can't really do anything while I'm holding the camera, but I'll take it off and I'll show you where this rectifier goes. I'm just going to take that panel off. I said I couldn't do it with the camera in my hand. Now here's a little thing I've used a lot of recently. Now you might be thinking, you know, don't hit this panel with that impact driver, and you'd be right really, but just the weight of these, I can't remember what it costs, probably about £5–6 quid. Just the weight of it, the amount of times you've got something that you can't get undone. Say for example these screws here, I've never changed this belt on this. I've actually got one up there, somewhere up there to change. But the amount of times things are seized and you can't get them open with the screwdriver, very easy to round things off. And the amount of times I've picked this up and just with the sheer weight of it, use this instead of a normal driver, just the weight of it. And as you can see, just with the weight of that, it just undoes these a lot easier. So look at that. I mean, how easy is that? I was just putting a screwdriver in, and it slipped off once, and that was enough for me. So if you've got anything that's stuck, get yourself an impact driver. You don't always need to twist it with a hammer. The weight of that will get a lot of things undone for you. Really valuable little tool to have, and you know, not much to buy either. So basically 5 screws and the whole lot comes away. No fancy panels to make it look smart or anything like that on these old bikes. Just as a note, when I've just put that down there, don't actually keep everything in, just in this magnetic tray down here. Very handy as well. I mean, you could label everything up, but to be honest, I've taken the parts off this bike that many times when I first bought it. I actually know exactly which one goes where all the way back, so no problem with that. So I'm going to take this last one off now. Just put the camera down, so drop this panel on the floor, taking it off, and I'll show you what's underneath. As you can see here, it's very easy to get in now. Now this was the part I was showing you before, and the reason I took this off today is because they sent me that one with the 4 straight pins, and I was pretty sure it was one of these that I swapped over before, and it is. As you can see here, this is it's got the different configuration. There's 2 at the top and then there's 2 at the bottom as well. So I'm going to buy another one of those. I'm not sure if that's the problem, but for the price of it, I've done everything else. I've done the plug, I'm going to do the carb, make sure everything else is great, but you know, for the sake of the price of it, and the bike's been running absolutely great, I'm gonna buy a new one of those, just in case my battery's becoming flat because of that, because it kicks off okay in the summertime. Now it's really, really cold. I was having a little bit of problems with it, and the battery's it's only probably about a year old, the battery. I've tested that and charged that, and there's nothing wrong with it. And it eventually started, but I did notice that the starter motor as well is making a lot of noise, and I think it's because I haven't been using it, because it hasn't been starting. I've been using the kickstart down here, and I'm going to take that off and I'm going to try lubricating it up and spray some WD in it if you can get into it, or if not I might even get one of those. It's about £15, but I mean, probably going to spend about £30–40 on this bike, but the amount it saves you in fuel and car parking, it's so worthwhile having one just to nip about on. So yeah, I'm going to order one of those. I'll put it back together and see how we get on. If we're still having problems, I'm going to get a starter motor and put that on the bottom as well. Might be a job for another day yet, but there's that to do. And of course I want to put might want to put another belt on this as well. I said I've got this part down here behind the kickstart where this drive belt goes. I actually bought one of these a while ago, so I'm not too sure how easy it would be to get on it. I bought one probably about 6 months ago. So sometimes I think they're quite easy to get on. If the old clutch mechanism moves backwards and forwards, you can slide them on and off. I might just have a look at that as well, just while I'm out here and I've not got many mows to do. So there's no one really, you know, buying or selling really over Christmas. After Christmas, by the way, is a great time. People will be selling, so keep your eye out. But, just right at Christmas, which now I think it's the 28th, 29th of December, everybody's just quiet, just sat watching, you know, Great Escape and, you know, Nutty Professor 6 or whatever it is. So I'm out here, I'd rather be out here and have a go at this bike. So yeah, wait for one of those to come in, I think. We'll see what we can do next. I think while I'm out here, actually, I'm just going to take this one off here. I'll take this off here. Just pull this one out of here. I'll take that one off and we'll just see if there's a part number on that. I'll see if I can get a model number off it, and I might just email it to the company I bought the last one off and make sure they send me the right one. And just push that down there and take that one off. Really easy once again. You can see the 2 up, 2 down pin configuration. Looks like a 10mm there, and basically the whole part's off. It's so cheap. It's really, if you think it's causing a problem, it's so much easier to just fit another part there. So luckily for me, there is a part number on the side of that. I'll have a look online, see what I can get for one of those. But yeah, different configuration. I wonder if it's just an overlap, because the company I got them from do loads and loads of bike parts, but I think sometimes in manufacture there's like an overlap on parts where it doesn't automatically get listed that they've changed it over. So yeah, I'll see if we can get another one of those. I'll keep that separate to the last one so I know where I am with it. Just put that to one side and mark it up. I'm just looking underneath here at this starter motor and why sometimes it's firing, sometimes it isn't. Now the actual wiring that goes to it, the insulation one around the wiring is all perished. You can see here. I'm not too sure that will affect the wiring too much inside if it's got some insulation on. But I'm going to try and get this off. I'm just trying to film under here, which is really awkward. But basically, whoever's put this little starter on under here, one side's got an Allen bolt through it and the other side's got a Phillips screw. So I'm going to try and get that off now and we're going to have a look at that. Now I'm actually struggling to get this starter motor off. If somebody had just put an Allen bolt back in the other far side as well as this side, it would have been a 2-minute job, but because they haven't, I've now got to remove this fan cover. There's basically 2 Allen bolts and another one just up here to remove, so I'm going to take those off, remove the fan cover, take it out of the way, give myself a little bit more access, but it's still going to be tricky to get off. So you know, it's just something to think about. You know, if there's one Allen bolt, and really there's a reason for that. I could have just leant under there with a set of Allen keys, chosen the right one and just undone it and quickly whipped it off. So when I put this back on, for my sake, in case I want to buy another starter motor, I'm going to make sure it's got 2 Allen bolts through it. It'll be a couple of minutes job rather than the 10 minutes it's been so far. It's funny, but as I've taken these off, I actually remember putting these these are Allen bolts I just put through, and I actually remember putting a bit of copper slip on just in case I ever had to get this fan cover off again. So taking these 3 out of here, it's just taken me about, I don't know, a couple of minutes. Came out, they were all nice and tight, came out really nice and easy. And it's like that when you've done something yourself, if you put it back together right, it's easy to get off. I didn't ever think I probably need to take that off for the time I have the bike, but now I have. It's become a doddle, and I'll do the same thing with this starter motor underneath as well. I'm going to try and get this fan cover. There we go, it should move out of the way. That just gives me a little bit more access. Not a real lot more. And as you see, it's just a flywheel, same as you get in a mower. It's basically the same setup as, you know, as you've used to. I've shown you on all these different things. You've got flywheels and you've got, you know, these moving parts. You've got carburetors, petrol tanks. It's something to look at. If there's plenty of places in your local area to pick these up second hand, take a look on Gumtree and eBay and places like that. Just get yourself one. Really cheapest one you can get. Just have a go. You never know. You might keep it for yourself, or you might just sell it on, make a few £100, who knows. So just the little things you pick up, just the knowledge you pick up doing things, it's sometimes just worth doing a bit, because the more you do, the more you learn. So I'm going to try and invent a tool now, something like this one here, to try and get across under here and take this starter motor off. So eventually, about 15-20 minutes later, after using this flexible extension here just to get in to save taking the exhaust off, a load of WD-40 just to try and loosen it off. I've eventually got this screw out. Before it's falling over, that's my elbow, was it? Hang on a minute. Oh, I've been laid on the floor, it's freezing as well. I've just got this board down, sick of lying in the cold. I've eventually got this off. I mean, fancy using that, you know, fancy using that instead of an Allen bolt. So I'm going to pull this starter motor off. Let's say that's cost me 20 minutes. That's cost me 20 minutes, is that, doing that, just to mess about for the sake of putting a proper bolt in and taking it off. I mean, surely one of those can't cost much.